should be closed this. When I was 16, I was into the Spice Girls and Britney Spears and glitter and dance and joyous things. I wasn't into feminism. Because back then, feminism meant hairy legs, smelly armpits, angry women and debate, and feminism wasn't cool. Because it definitely wasn't fun. Today, I'm almost 40, and luckily, all of this has changed. Feminism is an essential part of the global pop culture so that Beyoncé can have a world tour using feminism. And what is the best indicator to know whether a concept is really deeply rooted into society? Yes, when you can buy it on a t-shirt. You can buy t-shirts saying, I'm a feminist, smash the patriarchy, and millions of women and girls do because they've understood that's the concept. So today, feminism is fun. Because yes, women can do just anything. Women lead countries, women lead corporations, women build their own businesses, they can be girl bosses if they want to. Female empowerment is a global and unstoppable movement of women claiming their fair share of the planet. So you could say that the role of women has received an upgrade. The role of men, though, didn't. And that is a problem for the women. And that especially in the area that's maybe the most important topic of everyone's life, which is love. Because while we have upgraded who we are in society and our roles that we play, the roles that we play inside a relationship didn't evolve to that shift. So if you want to put it into a graph, decades of female empowerment goes up and up and up, and at the same time, the romantic gender roles don't, and that gap, that big, juicy gap over here, that creates a lot of pain for a lot of spectacular women around the world. The scientific term for that is called the female success penalty. The female success penalty describes the social sanctions we put on women for performing well at a male-perceived task, like running a country, or running a business, or being brilliant at anything because that's what men always did. And so there's many studies that show this is the case. For example, the more educated you are as a woman, the more likely you will be single. Studies show that if the women contribute more than 40% of a household income, that's the point where men start to get mental health problems. When women are promoted, their chances to divorce is twice as high. So, to give you a little bit of an idea what people say why this is the case, they say often, there's two takes you can take. One take would be, it's because the women you just can't get enough. These women, they are successful and they want somebody even more successful, somebody even more superior, some person that's even more richer, and that is why they're single. That's one take. I prefer the take that Cher would do. She, many years ago, famously said, "Mom, I don't need to date a rich man. I am a rich man." And what did we just learn? What's the best indicator to know whether a concept has really arrived in the global society? It's when you can buy it on a t-shirt. "Mom, I am a rich man" is decorating millions of kitchens of women and girls around the world because they have signed up to the reality of I can do it on my own. I don't need a man to provide for me. I don't need a man to look up to. I just need a man to love. And so to fill these scientific structural problems with a little bit of life, I brought you 3 examples of my surrounding. I changed the names and I changed the faces, but the stories are all real. So this is Kim. Kim is a lawyer, not a lawyer, but her hobby, she happens to be part of the national bike racing team. So when Kim goes on a date, she went on a date with this doctor, and he said during that evening, well, to be with you, I guess you have to be really confident. Said, no woman to a man ever. Or take Claire. Claire is a scientist, and she happens to consult the national government on algorithmic transparency. Very interesting topic, by the way. She goes on a date with this man. The 3rd date, it really goes well. They go to her place. He enters the apartment and says, that's a beautiful apartment. How much do you pay in rent? And she's like, I own it. It's mine. This man was never seen again in her life. Or take Rania. Rania is a fashion entrepreneur, and she has quite a significant following on social media. She met her partner many years ago when they were students backpacking, traveling the world. They fell in love, they married, they had 2 children, and only then did she start to build a career and start to build that empire that is now financially sustaining her whole family. One evening, her partner comes home and said, darling, I contemplated. And I realized this life isn't for me. I'm more into traditional gender roles, and I want to be the provider, and I want to be the main character of a relationship. So these are 3 mild examples of how the female success penalty touches women's life all around the world. So what is my part of that story? Like, why am I talking about this? I used to be single for most of my life. Then luckily I met my husband. Now we're married, we have 2 small kids. 2 summers ago, I was teaching at the tech university in Bangkok, Thailand. I was teaching for 3 weeks, and I brought my baby son and my husband to accompany me. And then, because I was already pregnant with our daughter, we decided, okay, you go home with the baby on your own, and I'll stay 10 more days so that I can stop breastfeeding easier, because pregnant and breastfeeding is a lot. So I got a little bit of a holiday. And so I was there, and a great friend of mine visited me. So we had a girls' time. This friend is a successful woman creating impact and change in society. She's dropped that beautiful. She's brilliant, she's kind, she's amazing, and guess what? She's single. So she tells me about the dates and how the men asked, like, do you really need to sign that 2nd book deal? Do you need to travel that much? Is that what really is so important? And I was like, what? Like, why still today aren't men able to embrace that and celebrate it? So I did what every sane woman in the 21st century does when she has something that's boiling up in her. She writes about it on LinkedIn. So I created a LinkedIn post talking about, I'm surrounded with these successful women everywhere, and they're all single. Somebody should create a matchmaking agency or a dating app that matches successful women with confident men that aren't Lappen. And for those of you who don't speak German, Lappen describes something disappointingly spineless. And so this post went viral. I had 500,000 views and thousands of comments, and people that reached out to me like, oh my God, somebody is saying that, finally, this is exactly what's happened to me. Please do something about it. And so I thought, somebody should. Maybe I will do that. And so I'm going to create something about that. And, the issue with solving that really big, hairy problem is, how do you find out whether the men that you put on this matchmaking anything are actually comfortable with powerful women? And if you ask men and ask them, hey, guys, are you comfortable with a powerful woman? Are you on board? And 10 out of 10 will say, yes, I don't have a problem with that. It's cool. sadly, that doesn't quite match with the studies there are, and it doesn't match with all the anecdotes that every woman has about this. So men seem not to be the perfect assessment to evaluate whether these men are capable to be at peace with the fact that the women they're with might overperform them in some areas. And so the best source to actually assess this is the women around them. So every man, every fantastic man on this world has a woman that knows and trusts him. And so these are going to be their wing woman. It's co-workers or colleagues or your ex-partner, your therapist, somebody that can say, John is amazing. He can do it. He's so much at peace with himself, he would never even think about competing with his partner. He doesn't need that. And so that's what we're doing. But the reason I'm speaking about this topic and I want to build that and solve that problem is not because I'm angry or not because I want to fight for justice. It's because I really deeply believe in men. I have met countless spectacular, wonderful, intelligent, courageous, brave, warm, kind and caring men that I refuse to accept that they aren't able to elevate their game. So with the help of AI, I created this utopian valley of men that are so at peace with themselves that they would never think that they know they're not 1 ounce less valuable, as a not 1 ounce less manly, only if they happen to be the less successful part in the relationship. And so even though this AI seems to feel that these men all look like hot, younger versions of Santa Claus, but why that is a different TED Talk. So my daughter is a baby today. And when she's 16, and if she decides to be into men, I want her to be able to do anything that she wants, that she never feels that she has to dim her light to not hurt some man's ego, and that the concept of the free and independent man that knows he's just good enough, that this concept is so normal that she couldn't even buy it on a t-shirt. But that this one day, when she's 16, that I will have to struggle to explain to her what back then, what on earth the problem once ever was. Thank you.